Hey guys, Fuel's Front coming back at you here with another little mini mud mower update. Today, nothing too major. Well, I say that, but really it's kind of hard to get this thing to run and drive without a battery and a gas tank, so that's what we're working on today. Unfortunately, the gas tank, as you know from before, I had it in that location. I took it out because it was a little too low and I didn't think it was going to work. But as it turns out, I think I'm going to have to run a fuel pump no matter what I do, so I'm kind of going to put it in that same location. I'm even going to go as far as to try to reuse my original mounts because I spent a little bit of time building these and I don't want to just waste that away. So they will need to be trimmed to fit. I'm going to re-weld them back to the original location, and we're going to get that fuel tank pushed up right in there, which should sit nicely kind of below and behind the hood. The next project after that is going to be mounting this little battery. I'm going to do a standard lawnmower battery because I like that they have a little bit more capacity than your average ATV battery. Those things are about a quarter the size of a lawnmower battery. So we're going to mount that on here because I don't know, I may end up putting a winch on this thing. That might be overkill. I'm not really sure yet. This thing is very, very light in its current state. It's lighter than any of my other machines, obviously the Sears and the Murray respectively. So I probably won't need the winch on it, but you know, having the capacity there, knowing that I could use it if I had to, is definitely a bonus. Well, there, I've got the mount sort of tack welded into place. I'm just working on getting this thing centered. I don't know what just happened outside. You probably can't tell from the auto brightness of the camera, but it got really dark, especially out that way. I think it's going to rain. I'm also making the conscious effort to not weld or not record myself welding with the camera because I've read a lot of people say that some of these expensive cameras with the nice sensors can actually be damaged. They'll still work, but they don't pick up light and adjust contrast as well automatically when you weld and record it. So I won't probably be doing that anymore. Here's another neat little thing that I've been using recently is this, it's a wide angle lens. It's actually two-piece. I can pull this bottom part off and make a macro lens, but it actually screws onto the front of my camera. You can see I actually have to be back a good ways from something. I'm on the other side of the garage, and that's the racing mower, which isn't that big. But when I screw this thing on, it's not even screwed on, but you can tell the difference. I don't really know why I think you guys care about that, but I figured, wow. Yeah, there's something coming. Yeah, anyways, I don't know why I think you guys would care about my camera lens, but I figured I'd fill you in a little bit. I got this new Canon Vixia. The last video I did was in 60 frames per second. This one's probably going to be too. I really like the way this footage is coming out, so I'm pretty psyched about that. But anyways, let's get back to the build. Yeah, so it's definitely raining, which is good because we need it really bad out here. But anyways, to get back on track, fuel tank is pretty much bolted down, centered, good to go. It's not plumbed up yet, but I'm going to wait until I get a fuel pump to hook everything up because obviously the outlet of the fuel tank is down there and the inlet of my carburetor is right there, this little brass. I threw the hood back on there. It's literally just sitting there right now, but I'm just kind of peeking around looking for space because I got to squeeze that battery in here. So it looks like this whole area, I mean, that's a pretty big section. Thunder. I hope we don't lose power. But yeah, I'm going to build a little battery holder that'll hopefully hold the bottom of the battery, and then we'll probably weld it into the front end of this frame here, and we'll figure out a way to strap it down even if it's just a little bungee cord. But there's not much in here to have to deal with for obstruction, so it seems like a good spot, and plus it keeps the weight of that battery up in the front to balance out the weight of my scrawny ass sitting over the rear. So anything I can do to get a closer weight balance on this would be good. Plus this front suspension is pretty stiff, so a little bit more weight would do me a lot of good as far as ride comfort. So with the hood off of here, you can see what I've got to work with for room. And we're going to keep the design really simple. I think I'm just going to kind of build like a rectangle that the battery's going to set into with some supports that run from the front of it down to this like front bumper area, just so we don't have a lot of bouncing and vibration in there. Alright, we are making some headway here. As you can see, I got the beginnings of a battery tray kind of welded in place. I'm using this incredibly thick, I would have to say it's 1/4 inch, I don't know, looks like 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch angle steel. Very heavy stuff. This one piece weighs like probably almost a pound. But you can see the tray kind of coming together. These pieces are obviously way too long here. So what I'm going to do actually is set this in here, get the battery in here once this kind of cools off. You know, get it where I want it roughly, because I don't want it to be too tight, but I don't want it to be too loose. It's got nice high sides, so it should offer a good amount of support. You know, even without being strapped down. Obviously we are strapping it down, but I can slide this in and out, get it right where I want it, weld this sucker down, cut these off, finish welding everything, and then I can weld some supports that go downward to the frame. So made some very good progress today. The battery is in. It's very nicely hidden, very well tucked in. You can kind of see it through the front grille just a little bit in there. It's hard to see, but it is in there. You can see the mount down there. But as you can see, the hood is generally on there. It's not bolted down, but when I pull it off here, there she is. Should be a pretty easy hookup. I think I'm going to mount this hood to a hinge so I can actually flip it forward to access the battery a little bit easier. I started, you might have seen, doing a little bit of the electrical stuff. There's the coil right there, and you know, actually got the starter kill switch. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Alex. He's here watching me. He loves this stuff. But yeah, got the kill switch just on the handlebars. I cut the grips off because I don't really like them. I get another mess of it right here. This is probably about half of what I'm supposed to have. The other half is over there in a box. Generally speaking, it is getting there. I obviously have a lot to do. I still have to figure out a shifter, which is going to be a slap shifter. I still have to mount the chain on this side. Stepping in scrap metal here. Yeah, I got the output sprocket here, which I believe is a number 40. And originally my plan was to replace this whole rear axle setup, put in a go-kart axle, and different rims, different hubs, different brakes, all of that stuff. But I'm starting to wonder to myself if I can get this to work. Because I initially thought the rear bearings were bad, but now I actually think that it was the chain. When I was rolling it, I could feel the rollers binding because the chain was really bad. So I think maybe replacing the chain I'll be okay. So obviously there's a lot to do. Didn't make a ton of progress today, but it's hard to do anything without a gas tank and a battery. So things that needed to be done. Not really sure what is going to be next. Maybe I'll get the shifter set up so I can get the fuel pump and all that in there, and then maybe we can actually start this thing up. I can test the shifter, test the transmission, and then after that all it's going to be is trying to hook up the chain and the brakes, front brakes, rear brakes, all of those things. And maybe a test drive in the near future. You know, one can hope. But thank you for watching my video, you guys. Let me know what you think about the Mini Mud Mower project. I know this seems to be a fan favorite, even though I'm destroying something beautiful. But I like to think I'm kind of giving it new life. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next off-road mower update. See you later, Alex.
Bye.